Good morning. Okay, well, to recap the game, extremely proud of our guys. They are, what we're learning is these guys they're tough, they're resilient. It's a team of fighters, and we're going to go down swinging. Hopefully we're going to go down swinging with a win, but we're going to scrap all the way to the end, and we're finding a lot about ourselves right now. It's been an up and down season, but our guys have stayed together. They've stayed united. They've continued to grow and develop, and most importantly, they just continue to go back to work every single day. And so I'm so proud of those guys to go down there in a tough environment, a place that we've had issues for a lot of years, and also to go down to Tucson shorthanded with some players that were not able to travel with us, which I'll get to here in a second. And so here we go. So now we're already back to work. I had a good practice yesterday, and getting ready to travel down to another tough place to play down in Palo Alto. So I'll give you guys an injury update here. First, Alex Cook, who we all saw took on a devastating injury during the game. Looked like a devastating injury. Thankfully, all the tests came back negative. He traveled. He did get back on the team playing with us. Traveled back. He's in good spirits, and he's currently in concussion protocol, and he will be week to week. And so all the major things that we could all have thought of could have happened to him are all negative. So extremely great news. And then some injuries sustained in the UCLA game. I want to give you guys some updates here. So Rich Newton tore his ACL. He is having surgery today, and he will be out for the year. Eddie Ulufashio had an arm injury sustained in the UCLA game, had surgery last week. He will be out for the year. And then these three suffered injuries in the same game and did not attend our U of A game. Taki Tamani, Jackson Kirkland, Quentin Moore, all three of those are week to week. Cam Williams is still dealing with an injury from a prior week, and he is also week to week. Now, some good news. Alfonso, you saw, got some reps down there in Tucson, and he is battling back from a torn Achilles as well, just like Zion, and was also stayed ahead of schedule and was on a limited snap count, and he was able to go out there and get some reps for us. So excited for him. To come back from a devastating injury just like Zion and see him put all that his work in and our team of trainers and doctors, what they were able to do with him and get him back up to close to full speed this soon is really a miracle. And then Jack Westover, you saw him get a few reps as well. It was nice to see him back in the fold, and he got through the game healthy, and you'll be able to see him play a little bit more. And then Zion played more than double his reps he played 2 weeks ago, and he came out healthy, and you should see his reps probably double again here as we get to game time on Stanford. Questions?
Jimmy, without Eddie specifically, I know you guys played Carson more and obviously Hamilton more. How do you feel like they played against Arizona, and just what's the confidence level with those guys kind of filling that gap?
Yeah, Eddie's, he's one of our leaders and one of our best players. And so you just mentioned a bunch of young guys there, and there was some ups and downs in the games. There was some really good run fits, some really good pass fits, and there was also some ones where we didn't fit it very well, and then all of a sudden, there's a big run play here or there. And that's going to just be a part of the growth that we're going to have to deal with some young players now being thrust into starting roles.
Jimmy, with Zion, he's not only getting double teamed, but he's getting triple teamed and held. What you scheme around that, or what can you do, or is that something you're starting to notice his reputation?
No, I think we're always going to we're going to set him up to be somewhere where they're going to have to pay attention to him, and he's going to affect the game. Everything that you just mentioned, if there's a penalty, that's on the referees. They got to call that. But he's had an effect in the 2 weeks that he's played. He's pressured the quarterback. He got his first sack this last week, and I'm so proud of him. He continues to put the work in, and I can just see him every game here on out just improving and having more an effect on the quarterback.
And another and seems to be getting more reps is Jordan Lolahe. He's a couple years older, being on the mission. What are you seeing out of Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan's playing his best football since he's been here, no question. Has learned, his position. He gives us a physical presence out there, and you'll definitely see Jordan play a lot more here as we move forward.
What did you see from Dylan in the second half, especially? Because it seemed like something really started to click for him in the second half.
Who'd you say?
Dylan Morris.
Okay.
How did you see him in the second half compared to the first half?
Yeah, no, Dylan. I opened up and I talk about our team of fighters. I tell you what, he goes in and gets his nose bloodied up, face smashed in the first 7 plays. And he gets it all fixed up, straps that helmet back on, and goes out there and obviously we want to score some more points in the first half, but goes out and scores 21 in the second half and threw some dimes. So proud of him. He's a fighter. He's tough. He's resilient. Like I mentioned after the game, made some adjustments on some routes that we wanted to focus on that we felt would work better against what they were trying to do to us. And you saw some explosive plays from our receivers. You saw Jalen on a route, and of course Rome and then Terrell Bynum. And Dylan did a nice job of delivering the ball where he's supposed to deliver it on time.
You mentioned a lot of times Edefuan's importance in terms of his leadership, not just what he does on the field. I'm curious what his attitude was like coming out of that injury, and also how important it's going to be for him to be in the ear of those younger guys that now need to step up into that role.
Yep. So he was here yesterday at practice, right in front of every single drill. He's front and center in the team meeting. He's one of our leaders. All those young guys look up to him, especially in that linebacker room, and he'll be there. As Coach Gregory's coaching them, but he's going to be sitting there going, okay, and saying it from a player's perspective and giving them some good insight on how to play the position. He'll be around us the rest of the year, and I'm sure Eddie will still be one of the first guys in the building and one of the last guys to leave. That's just who Eddie is. But he's very positive. He's in good spirits. Of course, nobody wants to see their season derailed by an injury, but he's handled it the way I thought Eddie would handle it, with his head's held up high, and he's positive, and he's still being a leader for us.
Jimmy, back to Dylan for a second. So we saw some deep shots in the first half that looked like most of them were underthrown. In the second half, he was on the money. So what was the difference with his accuracy in the second half, you think?
Yeah, there was some different. They gave us some different looks that we hadn't seen, and so that that always causes just a little bit of confusion here or there, and so it would have been awesome if it was the exact same looks that we thought we were going to see, and maybe we're going to throw the ball and protect with more confidence up front and run the right routes. As soon as we were able to kind of figure out what they were trying to do to us, now we were able to protect with more confidence. We were able to run the route that we know we're supposed to run versus that coverage, and then Dylan was able to get rid of the football and know the coverage that we were getting. And so I know it's frustrating, but as the game goes on and you start to figure those things out, I think the confidence builds, and you saw a more confident offense, not just Dylan, in the second half than the first.
Do you feel like the offense may have turned a corner in that second half?
We still want way better results. And so I'm happy that we came out and scored 21 and won the football game. And I'm happy the way our guys fought, and they were, being blanked out in the first half and, not moving the ball. And, a lot of teams could just cave in right there, right? And they could just lose confidence and pack it up and go, okay, well, it's over. And our guys don't do that. And there was no flinch. There was no blinking in the locker room. Everybody stayed positive. They knew we were a play away from making a one-score game, and that's what we did, and fought all the way back. And so I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping we did. But every week's different. Every week, every defense gives you a new challenge, and our next opponent here is going to give us a whole new challenge than U of A.
I saw Newton catch a pass against UCLA. Was that the play he got hurt on?
I believe it was, yes, by the sideline. Yes, that was the play.
And how is he handling his injury?
Same thing. It's always hard for those guys, right from the beginning when they hear the news. But Rich is a tough young man, and he's been through injuries a lot here throughout his career. Not a season-ending injury, but he's handled it with positivity. But today we're gonna have to regroup with him. Today he's in surgery, maybe right as we speak, right now, and so we're gonna have to love him up, surround him with our brotherhood, and let him know that we have his back, and we'll get him back soon.
Jimmy, on the offensive line, how Troy do out at left tackle? You also had MJ in there instead of Julius, and then Mateo Mele played quite a bit at right tackle. Is he taken over at that position?
So start with Troy. Troy, I thought, played a extremely solid game. He was really, really physical, finished off some really good blocks. He pass protected really well. And, those are big shoes to fill. Jackson Kirkland right there. And so for him to be able to go out there and seize his opportunity was a good sight to see. And then MJ, he had been playing the last week. He was getting more reps there than Julius. MJ played solid, and then I was really excited how Mateo played. It's Vic's playing well. Mateo has showed up in practice playing well as well. We want to get him out there and get him some reps, just like I had mentioned, across other positions, offense and defense. But I thought Mateo played a really solid game. And it was pretty cool for him to go down there and play a lot of reps in his hometown of Tucson.
You try to replace Etifuan's reps going forward. What are the couple things you're really looking for out of a guy like Daniel or a guy like Carson to determine who's going to step up and play the most there?
I mean, it's going to have to be knowledge of our defense, be where you're supposed to be, line up in the gap you're supposed to be in, play the gap in the run, your pass fit. We need those guys to be able to operate, and those guys have. They've ran this defense, guys that you just mentioned, for a while here. They just haven't been the starter, and now, just like anybody on our team, they're one play away from being a starter and have to carry us the rest of the way. And we had a good practice yesterday, and so we just got to keep building practice after practice after practice. They've already had one game. We've had one game without Eddie, and I'm hoping this next game, that group of players that's replacing Eddie plays a better game this Saturday than they did this last Friday.
Are all guys candidates for that linebacker job, meaning Emuli, Bruner, and Tupatala?
Correct, and Junior Tafisi as well. We can mix and match those guys. Nope.
Looks like Stanford has kind of found one of the better QBs in the conference in McKee. What have you seen just in his ability to operate to this point?
Yep. Well, I remember in high school, and I remember I don't think we offered him, but I remember how talented he was coming out of high school, and so I've seen him for a long time. He went on his mission and came back, but he is extremely accurate. Coach Shaw and Coach Pritchard, their offensive coordinator, they do such a magnificent job of getting these quarterbacks to read and recognize what defenses are doing and get rid of the ball and get rid of the ball where they're supposed to be going on a timely manner. And so, just going against Stanford now feels like almost a decade now. It just seems like they got another one on their hands. I mean, he's a big 6'6", strong-armed, smart football player that knows where to throw the football and throw it on time. And so we will have a big challenge on our hands.
Why do you think they've given you so much trouble down there at Stanford? Is there a common theme or?
Yeah, it's my take on that is, this is the 2021 season, and we just have to worry about our 2021 football team and go down there and try to get a victory and come out of Palo Alto. And so very similar to, there's been lots of stories written about how we've had trouble down in the desert, and now I think 3 times in a row, at least in Tucson, we've been able to take care of business, right? And so this is about the 2021 season and the 2021 football team. All these the teams in the past that didn't get it done down there, we can't worry about that. We got to prepare this week to try to come out of there Saturday night with a victory.
You feel like this is a good barometer for how physical your team is playing a game like this against them?
Always. I mean, if you look at the Pac-12 North, it's us, Stanford, or Oregon for the last, since I've been here, that's going to take away the North Championship. And those three teams have, I mean, there's more physical teams than that in the North, but those three teams have usually been the most physical and have come out with the Pac-12 North championship. Now, I'll say this, we've already played some tough physical teams in Oregon State and Cal, and I'm talking about in the North. And so I think we've already had some barometers, and those two went down to the wire, and we'll see what we do here against another really, really physical team.
When you played football, from what I've read.
When I played football?
Yes.
Yeah,
You were
okay.
headed for Western Washington University. And David Shaw was a coach there. Did you realize that you guys almost crossed paths as player and coach?
I'm trying to see the year, was he, I don't think he was there when I was getting recruited there.
He was.
Was he really?
A linebacker coach, I think.
Okay,
96.
interesting. I did not know that, so that's news to me.
I know that because I'm an old Western fan.
Okay, yeah, I went to Western Washington, but I do not remember that Coach Shaw was there. But that would have been interesting for sure.
I'm wondering, you guys have dealt with, serious injuries in the past, but when you have an injury like Alex's mid-game, how difficult is it to just snap back and play football after seeing something like that? Yeah, no, it's quite the ordeal. You saw, our whole team out there. I mean, this is a tight brotherhood that we have here, a really uncommon unity that we have on our team. And so, I mean, you could hear guys choking up and, sending well wishes. And I mean, it's very emotional. And so, I think, after they rolled them out of there, each position coach kind of just talks to their units and kind of say, all right, well, hey, we got to get refocused here and let's make sure we take care of business here. And, because we know Alex would want us to go out here and finish and fight and try to get this victory. So, there's no question though. We know this is a very brutal, violent game, but we don't want that to happen to anyone on our team or our opponent's team ever. That's a scary moment.
With Alex in protocol, there's a chance he could play Saturday. Is that right?
That's correct. He's week to week. That's correct. Yep. That is correct.
Sam and Dylan both give you the same chance to win a game, or how differently kind of do they operate?
Yeah, I mean, I like all of our quarterbacks. You can throw Patrick in there as well. All three of those guys have played well in practice, and at any moment's notice, one of those guys could go down, and they're going to have to go in there and operate to go win the football game. And so, I like all three of our quarterbacks. I know they prepare well. They've gotten better every day they've been here. And it was good for Sam to get out there and get some reps out on the road. So now he's had reps at home. He's had reps out on the road. And we'll see what the plan is here moving forward. But, yeah, I got confidence in all three of our guys.
You said that he's progressed since spring football. But what made...
You talking about Sam?
Sam, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What made Saturday or Friday the right day to put him out there?
That was just our plan. That was our plan of how we wanted to do it. And I'm not going to unveil our plan of what we're going to do for the rest of the year. Not here. I'll answer it after a game in a press conference. But that was just our plan in house that we wanted to do.
How important has the addition of BECU been? I mean, just having a guy you can really rely on to play at the level you need at nickel, which has been such an important position for you guys.
It was a huge addition, and what I love is he's just like all the other players that are now in the NFL. This young man loves football. He loves football, and he's a leader for us. He came in the building, went and watched tape with Trent McDuffie, hours upon hours upon hours, meeting with his position coach to get caught up on this defense. He plays fast. He's smart. Still has room to grow and develop, like us all. But he was a huge addition for us, and his best football is still in front of him. It's still in front of him. He knows he's got a lot of things to clean up where he can make even more plays for us. And so I'm excited for him to and for Husky Nation to continue to see a player that loves football. He's physical, he plays like a dog, and he's only going to get better every single week.
When you scouted him, did you see his film in Oklahoma and think that is the kind of player we want? Did you see his film in Oklahoma and think, I bet once we get that guy here, we could take him to a higher level than he's been playing at?
You want me to take shots at another team? Is that what you're...
Based on what you saw, what you thought of him as a player.
No, I thought, well, first of all, I knew him from high school. So we watched him at Calabasas, we watched him at IMG, and so we knew he was a very good football player. And then we watched his film at the prior university he was at, and we saw a physical player that was flying around the football field. And we had known him from the high school ranks, and so we knew his character. He had high football character and loved the game, and was going to be a great addition to the locker room in terms of a personality standpoint. But I guess, I feel like, even the other transfers that came in here, we feel like we can get them in here and develop them. That's what we've been able to do with a lot of our players. We've been able to develop them better than anybody in the Pac-12 and send them off to the NFL. And so we just found a player that we really liked in Buki, and still got room to grow, but I love that he's a dog.
Jimmy, just to clarify, you said going into the game Friday, you had planned to get Sam some snaps, is that right?
That's correct.
Did that get bumped up a drive or two when Dylan got hurt?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. But it was close. I think it was like one drive away. So it was just interesting how it worked out. Yes.
Yeah, the color guy doing the game for ESPN, I forget what his name was talking about how 65 yards passing at halftime, or 35 yards passing at halftime, sorry. You've already burned a game of the 4 for Sam. Why not just roll with him? Did you guys think about giving Sam more action in the second half? Is that even kind of a consideration for you?
No, not at that point it wasn't. And, again, no one knows our plan of how many games we're going to play him anyway. And so, but no, it was not. It was great for him to get out there, get his feet wet a little bit. And he's going to be that much better for his next opportunity when he gets to go in there and play. And so, very proud of how Dylan came in there, like I already mentioned, and battled back and threw some dimes and led us to another comeback victory that he can add to his resume.
With ZTF, he gets the first sack and he sprints over to the sideline and leaps over the bench. Great to know that he has confidence in the Achilles, but do you have to kind of pull him over and say, maybe let's not do that?
Well, I didn't see that. I did see his exuberance, running around the field. I didn't see him leaping over a bench, but I mean, that goes to all his work that he's put in to get back to his playing shape that he's in right now. He's able to go out there and compete against, some of the best players in our conference and play at a high level and getting blocked and shedding tackles and all those things. That's okay if he jumps over a bench. But we'll just try to limit him rep-wise. But like I had mentioned already, he's at a really good place right now, and expect to definitely see double time of what he did this last Friday.
With Alex and Cam going down, we saw a lot more of Dominique Hampton. He came in as a corner. He's been moved to safety, but he's a bigger body guy. With Eddie going down, is he a guy that you might be able to move up closer to the line of scrimmage and give him a little bit different look? And are we going to see a lot more of Dominique going forward?
Are you talking about a linebacker?
Yeah.
No, he's not a linebacker. He's a safety, and so.
Like Z Turner used to do.
Or like our guys now do. Is that what you're talking about? Like Asa and Cam, those guys? He's going to play safety, if that's what you're asking. So, yeah, very proud of Dom. He's made a lot of progress on special teams. You've seen over the last few weeks, he's made some splash plays, special teams-wise, especially on punt, made some critical tackles, and he's been playing well on defense at safety in practice. And now his number was called because we're getting down some guys, and it was good for him to go out there. He tackled really well last Friday night. But you can probably for sure see him, playing a little bit more here as we move forward, just because of the injuries to the guys that you mentioned.
Do you still feel like you're trying to figure out your running back rotation a little bit? We saw Cam come in late in the game. It looked like it worked, obviously, but
It looked like what?
It worked.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Davis out there. What spurred you guys to kind of go away from Kamari and Sean there and give the ball to Cam on those runs?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's fine. I'll always answer this. I really love all of our running backs. I love all of our running backs. And, if I was a running back, I'd want to be the second and third one in because you're the freshest and the defense is worn down. And that's what you see. I like all three running backs. And I think if Cam Davis would have started and Kamari would have came in, and then Sean McGrew comes in at the end, he would have had the stats that Cam had and would have scored the touchdown, if that makes sense. And so we have three really good running backs that we all feel really good about. I think every single game, when you've seen the second or third guy go in and he goes out there and makes plays, it's because he's fresh and the defense is worn down.
Are any of those guys that have kind of made their biggest debut on the road or something like that spoke to you after the game and been like, Coach, that was the coolest thing ever, or because you had a lot of depth of your guys play the past few weeks.
Are you talking about our young guys? I don't know if I don't think they probably want to act like they've done it. Done it before in front of me. I'm sure in front of their family and probably their friends. I'm sure they're that way. But definitely excitement. There's excitement for I'm thinking of a guy like Roma Dunze who scored now 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. That's still exciting. You scored your first 2 touchdowns as a college football player. And so I'm sure those conversations are probably more intimate with their family and friends about how excited they are. But in front of me, they want to act like they're the big time college football player that we recruited to come in here to do that.
So Jimmy, going back to what you just explained in the running back rotation, so is it when you look at that, the third guy's, you're going to put him with a little bit more speed, the first guy's going to be bigger, or it's just...
No, it changes week to week, and it changes on who has had a really good practice leading up to that point, who's healthy, who's not healthy. I mean, there's a number of different reasons why a running back is going to start over another running back. But I'm thankful that we have a running back room that we just lost one in Rich, but we have 3 running backs that have played a lot of football around here that we trust in any situation. There's nothing different about all 3 of them. We'll put them in on first down, second down, third down, in the red zone, in a 2-minute drill. All 3 of them can do all the same job, and I think all 3 of them give us something different, and that's a luxury to have.
The defense obviously plays into that, your opponent, correct? In terms of attributes? No?
Nope. Like I said, I like all 3 of our running backs.
All right.
Okay.